Hey everybody, it's Kim, and we're back with another episode of Empower. And today I want to talk briefly about flock mentality. It's something that I notice a lot, um, of course, on social media because that's where so much of everything um, happens nowadays. And while there's a place for community and embracing our similarities and enjoying that and being an active part of it, when it becomes kind of like we are not able to have our own thoughts and identities because we are just going along to get along, um, that's a problem. And it used to be, people talked about it when we were younger as peer pressure, and they only talked about that with teenagers, that it only affected, ages like 12 to 18 or whatever. But now, unfortunately, what seems to be the pervasive trend is a whole lot of people that should know better are a part of this because someone else did it and it got a reaction, I need to do it. Or just in case this gets a reaction, I don't want to not have done it because then I will have missed out. And it's crazy that we fight so often for our individuality and we're unique and you can't tell me how to be, and we buck authority and we do all of these things on our jobs, at school, our parents. However, it's like we've gotten to an age where it's easier not to ruffle any feathers. It's easier to not be alone. It's easier to seem to agree just so that we don't have to explain ourselves, just so that we don't have to stick out and be that one. Um, and I have quite a bit of experience kind of being that one that's kind of different and not like the rest of my peers, how I was raised. And I'm not knocking how I was raised at all. It was just different. I was the girl who didn't wear pants. I didn't get my hair cut. We didn't wear makeup. Um, those kinds of things. I was raised that way. And so, as such, it was noticeable that I was different. It never stopped me from finding my people. I always had friends. It never affected me adversely that way, but I am used to um, kind of not fitting into what society would think I am supposed to be based on what I look like. Um, that's just been my life. And so I know some of how I feel about flock mentality comes from that, but also some of it comes from seeing and being disturbed by the fact that there are people that are older than me who are just adamant that they stay up on everything, that they are a part of all of the uh, every trend, whether it fits their personality or not. And this is something that is disturbing because oftentimes, almost 100% of the time, when we see someone doing something, behaving in a certain way, hear them saying something, we can tell if that's them, if that's authentic to who they are, or if they're just putting on, if they're just trying to um, be a part of something. And that's one of the things that when you watch interviews with influencers or YouTubers or whoever, they tell you that the main thing for you to do to be successful is to be authentic because people can tell when it isn't real. People can sense that you're just doing this. And my whole thing is there are so many different things that you could do that would be beneficial, that I could be doing that would be beneficial. Why would I waste time jumping in on something that doesn't fit me? And people always talking about now the like one of the new buzz phrases is, my it doesn't fit my brand. But that's true. If it doesn't go with you, if you aren't passionate about it, if it isn't how you really feel, is it that important that strangers know that you're part? Is it that important that the people that you surround yourself with think that you were in the know or a part of something that was going on? Why is that important? Why is that more important than advancing what you're really here for, advancing your purpose, advancing whatever thought that is authentic to you, whatever change you can bring to the world? Why is it more important that somebody knows that I know about this, and we people, not we, because I'm not gonna put myself in this, people going into debt, um so that they can look a certain way, so they can dress a certain way, so they can drive a certain way. This stuff has got to be exhausting. It's got to be exhausting. It's exhausting for people to watch, for us to see that, well, I thought, especially when you personally know the individual and you're like, but why are you acting like this on here when we have had conversations and this doesn't seem to, I'm surprised by this. And then people become defensive and I can think what I want. You can think what you want, but are you? Why do we, and I understand we all want to belong. And one of my favorite people to listen to and read is Brene Brown. And she talks about so often belonging and how we want that. And but the danger of it is sometimes people will do just about anything to feel like they belong. And that's sad, especially for people that aren't teenagers. Teenagers are going through life trying to figure out, where do I fit? How do I fit? Who am I? These hormones are crazy. How am I supposed to handle it? What am I supposed to do with my life? People are asking them at a certain age, what do you want to be? Where do you want to go to college? Where are you going to live? What are you going to do? So they feel so much pressure. So it's normal for them to be like, I'm going to try this. No, that ain't me. I'm going to try this. What's sad is actually, in my experience, the teenagers that I know, they're more settled and grounded into who they are than a lot of adults that I see. And that's sad because then later on, you see the people coming back and wanting to have retractions of what I said, or let me explain to you what I meant about this, that, and the third. Well, if you can't defend it, if you can't defend it before you do it, trying to explain it away afterwards, it's futile. There's no point in that because we didn't believe you when you said it. And now that you're trying to correct it, now we're like, so then why did you do it? Because what's amazing is most of the time these things on social media show up, and we don't have to post everything that we record, that we say, that we do every place we go. We don't have to do that. And so before we post and before we upload, there's time usually, unless you're on live, uh, where you can stop and think, hmm, is that how I want to be seen? Do I want to be known as a part of this? And what's more what's more egregious to me is, more so than wanting to be seen doing something, how how is it that we live with ourselves when we're inauthentic? the turmoil that goes on in our minds at night when we finally can come home and be ourselves. Who is that person? Who are you? Um, the conflict that goes on of pretending during the day, the problem with that is we're creatures of habit. So the more that we um, behave in a certain manner, the more it becomes like, oh, this is who I am. Oh, this is who I am. Because it begins to meld together and it's like, how do I separate the two anymore? And then you wake up one morning and you're like, who, who am I? How did I get here? And unfortunately, being a part of this flock mentality of just going along to get along, what happens is not we, I can't put myself in that right now. I've done some things just to be a part of before. I'm not trying to say that it's never happened, but it's not something I practice. Um, it's something that I did, um, every now and then. I didn't even do it a whole lot because, like I said, I was raised so abnormally, for lack of a better word, what society would view as abnormal. It was completely normal to me. But because of that, I haven't done a whole lot of the things that are considered flock mentality. Um, so I can't group myself in with all of these things. So when I say you or people, that's why I'm saying it that way because I can't say that I did it or we if I don't do it. Um, but the problem is being a part of this flock mentality, you alienate people who can be like, hey, who are you? Because I knew you 6 months ago, and this isn't the person that you were. These weren't the conversations that we were having. This wasn't the behavior that you were exhibiting. What is happening? The more that you try to become something that you're not, the more you lose who you were. And a part of who you were are the people who are your friends, your community, your accountability partner, that person that can call you out, be like, "Girl, what you saying ain't making no sense." And so oftentimes being a part of this flock causes people real relationships. They become isolated, and so many more mental health issues um, either arise or surface um, because this stuff normally comes from an unhealthy place. When I am so willing to abandon everything that I am and how I think to be a part of something that I don't, or something that I don't feel one way or the other about, so I'm just jumping in. It's it's detrimental. It's problematic. It's concerning. It's immature, and it's behavior that we don't have to engage in. So I just wanted to talk about it briefly, just as a kind of temperature check to to have to have you think, am I participating in things that I wouldn't want anyone to know that I'm participating in? Am I doing things that don't really represent me? Am I saying things that I don't really believe? Or are these things so easy for me to say, do, and participate in because that is who I am? It's worth the time to check into it. Everybody needs a little bit of reflection. Everybody needs a little bit of examining your objectives and your motives and intents. It's helpful. And sometimes you can just get swept along because you're too tired of caring deeply. You're too tired of being the one who always has an objection. Why here she come with what she has to say. So you let your guard down and you kind of just drift along. But I'm here to kind of shake you a little bit and say, hey, is that who you want to be? Is that how you want people to experience you? Is that how you want to be seen in the world? Is that what you want to have left of you out here? That this is who you are? Just think about it. Flock mentality isn't always bad. It's just about the flock that we are a part of. So be intentional about the things you say and do, believe, post, like, share. Be intentional about that kind of stuff because it's telling. No matter what else you say, what you do, people tend to remember that. I know I do. So that's all I got for you today. I want you guys to follow Empower on what is the word I'm looking for? Instagram. Empower 540, MPOWHER 540. On YouTube, go on YouTube, please. Search Empower and subscribe and click the notification bell, as my daughter told me I need to say, so you can be notified of when I upload new videos. And continue to check here on Facebook as well. And new things are coming up. I'm working on planning a whole bunch of things for the new year. There's some stuff coming out I'm excited about. So I will see you all next time. Bye.